Hi, so we are in the new world of Ravenwood, and this is my first build with the new pack. So we are building on one of the lots in the town, right by the town square, and I bulldozed a quite lovely house that was here before, built by one of you simmers in the sim community, and it was a lovely one. But unfortunately I wanted to have this little lot to build on, so I had to put it away for a moment. So this is what I am building today, and it's a 2-story home with a little tower, and we're going to use all of the floors in the tower, but there is not much room in there, so you will see later what we are going to do with them. And this is a family home, and the downstairs is quite grand, I would say, and the walls are on high walls, so they are the highest ones, so that means that we have a lot of room, a lot of room in the area, and this is going to make the whole downstairs look very grand. So I think it's quite a good build. I am very pleased with the outcoming of it, and it took some fiddling with the roof, as you will see. I'm going to have to change the size of the house and so on to make it fit as I want to, and also make the roof look good, because roofs can be very hard to work with if you want to do something special and you don't want them to poke into the room, or you want to make the edges nice so that they aren't seen, but it will come around in the end, so we will be getting there. Just have a little patience and it will work out fine. So here's where I find out that I really need to move the tower over a little bit to make the roof equal on both sides. So it was off to the back a little bit, but now it's in the middle of the house instead. And that makes it, well, very much easier to do the roofing on that side. And so as you can see, I'm making some dormers upstairs, and they are going to be a part of the build, so there are going to be rooms in the dormers, and there are going to be 3 bedrooms in this house and only 2 bathrooms, because that's what I could fit into this build. So it's going to be an ensuite in the big bedroom, and unfortunately the kids will have to go downstairs to use the bathroom, but the downstairs bathroom is just beneath the stairs, so it's not that long of a walk, so I think they'll manage. I made this rounded porch in the front because I thought that it looked grand as well, and I wanted it to match the house. There's not much room for a garden, so there won't be any garden to talk about. We're going to neaten up the outside and make it look pretty, but I was thinking about having some sort of place for the kids to come and play, and maybe some of the new swings that we got with this pack, but in the end there weren't any room for that, so I guess they'll have to go to the ones in the town, because there are swings around the town that they can use, and instead they got a big lovely house, so I hope they enjoy it anyway. So I was trying to use as many things as I could from this new pack, and it's only Life and Death and Basegame in this build, so if you want to download it from the gallery you can do that. My ID is HelenSimmar, and it's going to be on there, and you can use it in your world if you want to. Had a hard time figure out how to put the colors on it. It wasn't working with me, but after a lot of pulling and stretching with the color over the parts that aren't colored in at the side, I managed to get some colors on the sides too, so that the whole upstairs is colored. There aren't any ugly white spots on the house. And so in the back I just wanted a little door coming out as a nod to the old house, because the old house had a staircase coming out at the back of the house and just leading off the lot. So I was doing a nod to that, but I instead lead the staircase to the side, and I'm going to make a pathway off the side of the lot instead. And I also wanted to have a little chimney moment, because one, it looks pretty, and two, I wanted to use fireplaces inside of the build. So there is going to be 2 fireplaces that match up with this chimney, and one of them is going to be upstairs in a sort of a little living room, and the other one is going to be downstairs in what is going to be the dining room. So just offsetting the windows in the tower to make it look a bit more natural and not just windowy. So yeah, we are starting to come along with the build, and as you can see when we head inside, there are some parts of the roof that want to glitch and come inside, but we fixed that, so no problems. It's not going to poke inside the build later. But I have to fiddle with it a bit, but because I wanted the corners to have that end where it meets the other corner, so that it looks just like one ending on the side, and I did in the end, so it came around well. And I also tried a few different places for the stairs, but it didn't really work for me where I first intended to have it, which means I had to do over the whole floor plan that I had originally made up for myself in my head. So I had to scratch that and start from the beginning again, and it comes around, and the staircase is going to be like a divider in the house instead. So it's going to make one side of the house into the living room and the place where you can have fun with your guests and so on, and the other side is going to be kitchen, dining, and so on. And so it worked out in the end. And here's me trying to make some kind of good rooms upstairs. So the main bedroom is really big, and the other 2 bedrooms are quite small. So they are the kids' bedroom. So they'll have to be fine with having a smaller bedroom, but they come out great in the end. So I think it still works out fine, even though they at least one of them is a very small room. The other one is maybe not that small, but it's very strangely laid out. But that just meant that I could split the room up into 2 parts, which I'm going to show you what I did with later when we head on upstairs. And these windows were gorgeous, so I used them on one side of the build, because in these windows you can, well, it doesn't slot there automatically, but you could put things in the window, which I'm going to do later. It was a bit fiddly, and you can't put them as far in the window as you might want to, but you can still put things there, and I think it's cool. So you will see me do that later as well. And I wanted to, since I've separated the downstairs so much with this big staircase and the wall, I wanted to keep like the rooms in an open flow. So instead of walls, I'd use spandrels to separate where the rooms are. And that came out really good, I think, because the kitchen is going to be, you walk through it to get to the dining room, so it's like an open kitchen. It's, yeah, you will see when we get there. I think it works out really well. And I have to do some creative things because I have a window right in the middle of where the kitchen is going to be, and I really wanted that window to stay, and I think it looks extremely ugly when you put the counters in front of the window. I don't think that's a very good look at all, so I didn't want to do that. But I had a solution, so you will see me come up with that solution later. And these new wallpapers that are like wooden panels, they are so gorgeous. So I used them in the dining room, and then it continues on to the hallway, as you can see. And instead I used the green in the living room. And there are so many good colors, like a bit more moody and dark colors in this pack, and I just love it. And the rugs are gorgeous as well, so I think they've done a really, really good work with this pack. I am so enjoying building with it, and I also have an urge to build with the more scuffy things, like the hole in the walls and the holes in the roof and the floors and so on. So I'm going to have to do some kind of abandoned building later on, because that's something I really like to do. I enjoy that. So that is on my list to do. And I wanted it to look a bit fancy in here, so I brought out this statue, and at first I put it in the window, but then I found this pillar and I wanted to put it on the pillar, and then I took the other statue and put it in the window instead. And as you can see, they are quite near the front of the window, but I think it's okay, it still looks good. So we are about to finish the dining room. I'm just gonna clutter up this lovely little shelf, and then we are on into the kitchen. And I think this little, it's not a shelf, but I think it's very, very gorgeous. It's so detailed, like many of the things are. Very, very much details on it. The windows, the doors, and the furniture as well have a lot of details. So we're into the kitchen, and as you can see, it's going to be a galley kitchen, and here's the window that I was talking about that I didn't want to cover up. So we're putting counters right up to the window, but leaving that area open, actually. And I think actually it looks good. It does. Might think it's a bit weird to have a gap, but I was thinking that you might want to open the window, and maybe you could step out of the window as well. But then you would have to jump because it's a bit up, and the door is right next to it with the stair down. So why would you want to do that? Silly me. That was a weird thing to think about. But you might want to open the window and get some air into the kitchen when you're there and planning up the dinner. So we clutter it up a bit using these new bottles that came with the pack. So maybe they are using them for cooking. I have some making some konjac sauce or something like that. Yeah, and we're gonna put a little rug in the middle of the kitchen and just some decoration on the wall. I found this book, and that is open and it's mounted, so it has like a frame around it. It's well, sort of like a framework, right? So instead of a painting, I put that up in the kitchen. So maybe someone in the family has written a cookbook, and they're really proud of them, and they have framed the cookbook and put it on the wall. So that's what I was thinking with that. And I also put a new death frog in the kitchen. Maybe a strange place to have a frog, but maybe this is a strange family because they do have a frog in the kitchen. So this is the downstairs bathroom and that I was talking about that the kids have to use. So they have a bathtub and just a toilet and a sink in there. And I find it quite odd because they did this whole thing where they made things slot to the sinks and so on. But this new sink doesn't have any slots. So you have to manually put them on there, and I find that very weird when they did it to all of the old ones. Why haven't they put slots on the new ones? So that was something I was thinking about while building with these new sinks. Yes, we are into this little hallway, and we're going to make a little cozy seating area. I was thinking, like in this old grand houses, you can have like an area where you can sit and smoke your cigar and have a whiskey or a cognac before dinner. So this is that place. And also the lamps didn't slot to this little side table, and that was also something that caught my mind, and I was thinking why, but yeah, they don't. Yes, so we're into the living room area and the kind of party area in this house. So they have a bar in this area, and I also used this lovely tarot cards paintings that came with the pack to hang up on the wall, and I thought it looked lovely, and I wanted to use the brown with the green to make a good contrast, because the rug is also a bit orangey brown, and I wanted to bring in the orange color with these couches as well. So I actually think this living room comes together quite good, and I think it's a lovely little place. And as you can see, I also put this little flower in the window as well. And then I go for these bookcases, and I love that they have made two swatches so that you could use the same bookcase on either side of the window and it still doesn't look the same because the books are a bit different in there. So I love how they did that. So yeah, this is the downstairs finished, and we are going to move on upstairs. And this is the ensuite to the parents' bedroom, and it's also quite a small bathroom, and it works out fine. And something you can see is that on the outside it looks great with the windows, but when you look on the inside, the windows are poking up, and it's not quite as good looking from the inside. But that's fine. I wanted the house to look pretty on the outside, so I don't think you will notice it as much if you play inside the house. And I try to cover it up with the curtains, but I realized that the curtains are going to be cut off when you're in live mode later. So this is the cute little bed that came with the new pack, and some new nightstands, and a cute little round rug. And here I went for some more orangey tones, and this gorgeous grandfather clock. It's so pretty. So I really enjoyed being able to use it in this bedroom. And since it's quite a big bedroom, I am going to put a seating area in the bedroom as well. So they are going to be having some couches in here that they can sit and lounge in. Maybe at night, having a cup of tea before going to bed or so. So that's what I did here. So they have a little seating area over here. And I think it turns out quite good. After maneuvering it around a bit, I'm just going to put a lamp in the corner. new old one. Well, actually it's a candle in there, so you would have to light it with the fire. But I think it's pretty, and I also put up some other lamps in the ceiling, so that's okay. They have enough light in this room as it is. And since I did the table smaller, I sized it down, things were just floating, so I skipped to put things under. I think it's a lovely table anyway, because it's like a mirror on it, so it looks fine. And we're into the little tower room. So this first floor is just going to be like a sort of dressing room for them. So they have a cabinet each where they can put some clothes in, and we're up one floor, and this is just storage. So from when the kids were really small, things that might not be used anymore are in there. And so is the top floor. It's also things that they have used downstairs and now don't have the need for anymore, so they're saving it because they might not feel totally finished with children. There could be some more, who knows, so they don't want to throw the things away. Not quite yet anyway. Yeah, so this is that upstairs living room area that I talked about, and this is where they have their TV. So downstairs there were no TV, it was just like an area where you enjoy yourself with the guests or the family, and this is the room where you go to watch TV. So they just have a little TV just to, well, for the kids' sake, if they want to watch a bit of TV in the night, they can do so upstairs here. So it's a tight squeeze, and they also have the lovely fireplace over here, so that's good. And we're going to put these lovely wall sconces that are also candles. So I think it would be hard work actually to go around the house and light all the candles at night. But let's pretend it's electrical candles in there, so they're being lit up by a switch. Okay, on to this teeny tiny little bedroom for the smallest kid, the young daughter. And I based it off this new wallpaper with the owls and this soft purple tone, and also the new purple bed that we got. So I think this kid is a bit more lighter and brighter, and as you could see in the attic there was a stuffed bear there as well, but it was dressed like a ghost, and I think this kid is not into that kind of dark colors and so on. So I think the bear is actually from her bigger sister, which room we are into now, so she likes a bit of a darker color palette, and it was her bear that is now in the attic, and they had to buy a new one for the younger daughter just to have it, well, match the colors of her room and her aesthetic and who she is. So this is the awkward shaped room, and I sort of split it up to one side where you have your bed and the dresser, and the other one is like a little office nook. So she is the only one who has a computer in the house, an old computer, as you can see. And we're just going to clutter up her desk a little bit with things. She is a teenager after all. And as well, all of the stuff on her dresser and so on. So I put this little jar with a ghost in it that came with the new pack. It's so cute. And yeah, so this is the last room in the whole build, and I think that this build turned out cute. Please let me know what you think. Would you have your sim here, live here, or would you like to live here? So please let me know in the comments what you think about it. And also, let me know if you have gotten a new pack. What was your first build? Did you build something fancy or something old? Please let me know. Yes, just cluttering up some more on the walls, and now we are heading on outside to tidy up the surroundings, as I said. So on the porch there are just going to be these benches and some flower pots, and then we are going to put up lights all around the house so it's nice and bright outside. And also in the back, and then we are going to make a little pathway, as I said, all around the house, leading from the stairs in the back to the stairs in the front. So just going around the corner and off to this and around back again. And then I hedge off this whole place to make it look like one area where the house is. So it's almost the whole plot that is, or the whole lot, not the plot. The whole lot is covered up with the house and these bushes. So I go around and make a little line against the gravel to finish off the edges so it doesn't look so rough. And also make it look a bit prettier from the front. You know, the area where people are going to come up to your house. And yeah, I actually really enjoy how this house turned out. And we're just going to finish it off with some last touches and putting a trash can in the back and of course a mailbox in the front. So that's what we're going to do, and you can enjoy the screenshots in the end, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!